Hey everybody, welcome to the shop. It's a little crowded, it's a little overdone, but it'll have to do. Today's project is something every boy and girl should have in their room, at least in my opinion, so let's get to it. And that is a sword. But not like this because your mother will freak out. Also, mother's not a big fan of. Dad would love it, yes, but it's just really a plastic too. No, today we're talking about wooden swords. And I'm going to show you how to make one. So this sword I made for my son several years ago. It was made with power tools. Today I'm going to show you how to make one with hand tools. I assume that's what you have at your house, and mom and dad probably won't let you use power tools right now, and that's fine. We'll show you how to make the handle, the handguard, shape the blade, and come up with a sword that's somewhat like this. And it's not going to be exactly like this because all swords are not exact, and you want to make it unique to yourself. So let's get started. To make a wood sword, you're going to need some wood. Today we're using some 1x3. Now 1x3, when you look at it, it's not actually 3 inches by 1 inches. It's actually 2.5 by 3/4. So if you're at the store and you can't find something that's actually 3 inches, it's 2.5 by 3/4 of an inch. Or if you're in jolly old England or Canada, that's actually 60 mils by 19 millimeters. I got a long piece, just in case I make a mistake. Now we're gonna make this sword 36 inches long, which is 3 feet, or also in metric, about 915 millimeters. So we'll mark it and give ourselves a straight edge to follow. And now we'll cut it. To cut your wood, you're going to need a saw. Like I said, no power tools, so it's all going to be hand tools. So a crosscut saw. If Dad has one this big, that's great. It's not necessary. He may have one like this, and that's fine. That's all we need. What we're looking at is the teeth. First of all, if it's all rusted and completely dull, you're going to be very frustrated. So this is what we're kind of looking for, a decent saw blade. I wasn't sure how sharp my old saw was, so I went out and bought a new one today just to be careful and be safe. So this one should cut pretty nice. Again, this is an aggressive saw, or also known as a Japanese style cut, and it's very quick cutting. So let's get busy. Before we begin cutting, a little saw etiquette. You should know this, but I'm going to tell you anyways. Saw blades and fingers or any other part of your body don't get along well. So let's take it easy. It will not make me popular with your mother or you popular with your mother or your dad, because he's the one that has to take you to the emergency room. So let's keep our fingers away from the cutting area and just use our brains while we're doing this. All right. So I'm going to show you how I cut a piece of wood. First of all, when I'm hanging onto my saw blade or my saw handle, my trigger finger always points out. It just sort of helps me keep a nice straight line. You want to hang on to the wood that you're cutting. You can hang on to it with your hand, but that still allows it to do this. So I like to throw my leg up on it and hang on to the whole piece and keep it nice and happy. So when you're going to do your cutting, I don't want you just to get all crazy and start doing this. Because when you cut like that, your saw jumps around and that's when it bites you. So let's just take it nice and easy, place it on your line. I put my finger up top here. I can make sure my thumb's out of the way of the cut. And that just steadies it for a moment. And I just slowly draw and let the teeth start to cut a little groove there. Do that again. And I'm putting a little bit of pressure on it. And this takes practice. So if it doesn't work right away for you, don't freak out. Just keep doing it. Okay, so you see the groove that's starting there? So I don't need to really put my finger there anymore. I can just put the groove in there, put the saw in the groove, and now I can start going a little bit forward, a little bit back, and you'll hear it starting to cut. All right, and I'm not putting a lot of pressure. I'm just letting the saw do the work. If you start really pushing on it, it's going to start to bind. If you're not keeping it straight, it's going to bind. So just make sure you try to keep this completely vertical. Keep your trigger finger pointing forward. Just take nice little cuts. We're not in a race right now, folks. Nice and easy. All right, we're just about through. Now, the first time you do this, you maybe don't want to do this, what I'm going to show you, but it's a good habit to get into as you get better at the whole cutting wood thing. If you cut and cut and cut and you just get to a little sliver here, the weight of this board is going to fall and that sliver is going to break off, and it'll either break off of your piece or back here, and it can make for an ugly end. For now, just let it drop, but I'm going to grab onto it and hold it as it's coming off, okay? So maybe I should just say, let yours drop. Don't try this at home. I don't know. Nice and clean. We're going to make our handle pretty much the same size as this one. We'll call it 9 inches or 230 mils. Wide, we'll go 1 5/8 or 40 millimeters. So we need to transfer that to this new piece, 9 inches. And that's the length of our handle. And we're going to come in, to make this handle work, to get to the 40 mils, we're going to come in, what are we going to come in? 7/16 on either side. We're going to mark it, and then we're going to rip it. It's time to cut out the handle. The last cut we did was a cross cut, which is going perpendicular or across the grain. Now we're going to do 2 rip cuts, which are going to go with the grain. The grain are these little lines you see in the wood. So this cut is a little bit more difficult. Pretty sure you can do it. Just take your time and let's do this. Same thing that we did before. We're going to put our saw on the line, thumb on the saw, just slowly draw. And this one, like I said, it's with the grain, so it can be a little bit tougher to get things going for you. And also, once you get it started, keep your fingers back once you start cutting. So you can see we've got a little groove starting there. I'm going to pull my wood back closer because when it's out far like this, it works great for the camera, but it acts like a springboard and it takes away some of your power. So makes it a little bit easier to get the power of the saw into the wood. Let's go. Now when we arrive at the end, we're at our pencil mark, but our saw is like this. So at the bottom, our cut is actually right here. So you just have to shift your saw from this angle and just bring it up slowly vertical. And then we're pretty much to our line. So now we just have to do one small cross cut. It's going to come across here to get this piece off, and then we'll take care of the other side. Just remember your thumb or your finger, whatever you'd like. I'm using my thumb right now, but it's up out of the way of the nasty bitey bites. Just helps keep things where they need to be. You don't have to force it. We're not in a race. Same thing here, you're almost to your line. We'll just slowly bring our saw up to vertical and we'll cut right through. Bingo. Yeah, that's better. There's both your sides cut. Now you can see, look, this is not the most beautiful cut in the world, and this is not a finishing saw. It's about getting things done fast. So if you notice that your handle is a little bumpy, it's got some ridges, don't worry about that. We're going to deal with that later. But it's fine. You're cut. You're done. You're good. And we will we'll tune this up a little bit more because these edges, nobody wants to grab onto a really sharp edge. That'll be coming up next. Back to our original sword, the handle is rounded over. I used a router to do that. We're not using a router today. We're going to use a file. This is a flat bastard. And we're going to knock the edges down on our sword to make it more comfortable to hang on to. Before we begin, the pointy end of a file, it can hurt you. Technically, it should have a handle like this. They usually don't. Just be careful. Again, fingers and files don't get along, so try to keep your finger away from where you're filing. Some of this is common sense, but it's good to say. So let's just knock this corner over and smooth out this edge a little bit. And basically, I'm just going to do it until it feels good in my hand. Oh, one other thing. You'll notice that I've clamped it to the bench. Clamps are a good thing to have. Put them on your Christmas list. So that's just a couple minutes there, and what you can see is I've rounded over the edge and starting to work it down to the middle. And when you look at the end here, you'll see that it's got a nice curve coming up. And when we do it on the other side, those two curves will come close to meeting. We'll do the same with all the other edges, and in the end, it's what feels good in your hand. Okay, so whatever feels good in my hand, that's what I'm going to go with. Same thing goes for you. Feels all right. It still has a little bit of roughness to it, but we'll tune that up later with some sandpaper. We've made some good progress today. We've got the sword cut to length, we've got our handle cut to width, we've started to shape it. In the next video, we'll start shaping our blade, we'll get our hand guard on, and then it'll start to look more and more like a sword. Keep at it, and don't get discouraged. Take your time, and you'll be surprised what you can do with your own hands if you'll just stick with it. We'll see you next time.